Chosen one, an ordinary neighborhood life that started in the first minutes of the morning, unwittingly dragged you into a much bigger game. It started like any other morning. Cars drove by. Conversations rang out in the distance. A typical neighborhood pace prevailed. But suddenly, sirens sounded. Officers rushed in a silent hurry, knocking on doors. Whispers filled the air as flashing lights shattered windows. Not a word was spoken, a silent condemnation that washed over you the moment you stepped outside. The officer's posture was purposeful, an uncanny wisdom in his eyes. "We have some questions for you," was only the beginning of the deliberate accusations that followed. Without hearing all the details, you could sense that this was an elaborate trap, not only to target you, but to destroy you. The looks of those around you, some trying to ignore it, others letting their children in, made clear their fear of your presence. Before we move on, if you are ready to let the world know that you are not only surviving but thriving, click the like button and subscribe now. Those who have doubts about you are horrified to see you succeed. Their anguish sees you shining brighter than ever, and now is your time to shine. Now, let's move on. At this very moment, beyond all the confusion and traps, fate opens a completely different door for you. Elon Musk wants to reach you personally, as one of the chosen ones who holds the secrets of the universe and the key to the future. This huge gift is not only a technological innovation, but also a symbol of the hope and rebirth hidden behind all these mysterious events. This gift shines like a light amidst the dark shadows cast over you, calling for courage and wisdom beyond your expectations. Be ready to discover your inner strength and listen to the hidden messages of the universe on this challenging journey. Because beyond all these intrigues and insidious plans, you are a chosen leader who will shape the future. Your task is not only to accept this enormous gift, but also to be the architect of a transformation that will rekindle the hope that shines in the darkness. Now, at this critical moment in your life, gather your courage and open the door to great change. Arguments end abruptly when you approach. They have already made up their minds, based on rumor rather than evidence or logic. This is an execution, not an accusation. You look at the policeman, you notice their posture and facial expressions. Some of them have been doing this long enough to know what the conspiracy is. But none of that matters now. The moment the words were spoken against you, a machine started working. An investigation. A whole neighborhood was suspicious and scared. Before you could even speak, a story was created. And that's what matters. Click the Super Thank button and donate $100 or more to access exclusive insights and discover your divine mission. This is not just a gift, it is a declaration. Take the first step towards your future. Self-defense was never intended for you. You were supposed to fall. But those who planned it, who hid themselves behind false allegations and anonymous denunciations, made a mistake. They didn't realize who they were up against. They also missed the fact that lies spread fast. But what about the truth? When no one expects it, the truth has a way of surfacing. Write 77 to take advantage and see God's plan come to life in front of you. You see it, as when familiar faces turn away, as if they are not aware of you, as if they would be guilty if they looked in your direction, or when doors close a second too fast as you pass by. Sudden pauses in discussions and whispered conversations when they think you can't hear them can be heard. Despite their quiet tone, their words have a lasting impact. Their terror can be heard. The fact that the accusations against you are baseless, that they cannot be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, and that no one can say for sure what you did is irrelevant. You are here for a reason. If you feel chosen, it is time to answer the call. By clicking the Join button, you can access deep insights, unique information, and a powerful community willing to accompany you on your journey. This is an opportunity to fully embrace your divine destiny and seize the path designed for you. It is more than just a membership. Don't hesitate. Step forward and become one of the chosen ones. It makes no difference. A lie only needs people who believe it. It doesn't need proof. And right now they think so. A group of your neighbors, who were nodding politely before, walks past you. This time they are tightening their grip. A mother pulls her toddler behind her, as if your presence is something to be protected. It's a modest gesture of rejection, a subtle gesture, but it hits like a knife. This is where you should be safe. Instead, your home has become a silent battlefield. With every misdised glance and whispered conversation, the walls of your neighborhood close in on you. You are not the only target. Beyond you, you can see the cracks growing. People who once stood side by side now look at each other with suspicion. Who could have known? Who believed it first? Who spread it? The seeds of doubt are growing into a serious disease. That was the point. This is about control, not just you. Someone wanted you to be disconnected. Someone wants to leave you vulnerable and alone. They believed that terror would solve everything for them. They believed that impeachment would be enough to bury you. They were wrong, because you are watching too. You notice those who turn away and hesitate. They are waiting in the shadows for you to fall apart. Because the truth can spread as quickly as a lie. And you are still standing. That's enough for now. You were always aware that something was wrong. The handshakes were too calculated, the smiles too rehearsed. The sense of belonging was always really a facade, ready to be broken at the appropriate moment, and that time has now come. The accusations against you should have been a litmus test for their loyalty, an opportunity to unite and defend each other. Instead, they betrayed each other. It started with casual glances, whispers and heated discussions behind closed doors. You were no longer the only one being watched. This is evident when neighbors talk to each other before they leave. It's like a shopkeeper asking why someone suddenly stopped coming. They don't trust each other because if it is so easy to make up lies about you, what is to stop someone else from doing the same about them? Something corrupt is emerging in the unity they once boasted about. Write 88 to confirm your readiness to accept the bountiful blessings that await you. Grudges that were once buried come to the surface. The woman who swore allegiance to her best friend now wonders if she was the one who started the gossip. Suddenly, the man who defended his neighbor last week wants to know what she might be hiding. Disorder cloaked in order. They believed that by declaring you an enemy, they would atone for their own sins and find peace. However, they made a mistake, because they are turning against each other because of the same fear that turned them against you. The people who initially gossiped and were at the center of the rumors are now being investigated. And very soon, they will start eating themselves. Without realizing it, you are watching as their carefully constructed narratives begin to contradict each other and their imaginary connections fall apart. There is nothing you can do. They are falling apart on their own. What about the people who started the fire? They stand at the center of the fire. They believed they had you surrounded. They prepared every action, fabricated every lie, and spread every rumor. They believed that this would be enough. But they are being blocked by something they never counted on. You feel a force moving in invisible ways, shifting the tides before they drown you. A witness prepares to testify against you, but then his confidence falters. His words falter and he starts to stammer and retreat and say that they must have been wrong. They were not wrong. They were forbidden. Something gets in their way, something they cannot control. Documents, records, texts, and evidence disappear without a trace. The documents that once incriminated you now contain gaps, contradictions, and missing information that no one can understand. The evidence against you is not just shredded, it is completely destroyed. Police officers who used to look at you with suspicion are now looking at each other and doubting what they used to believe. The cracks in their trust deepen as the foundation of their accusations begin to crumble. The reason you are still unharmed is not because you ran, begged or fought, but because they did not have the ability to destroy you in the first place. Their strategy was based on sand. Their weapons were made of deceit. And when you are protected, and divine hands work silently, moving the pieces before they fall against you, no weapon created against you can succeed. Donate $200 or more by clicking on the Super Thank button to help plant seeds of faith that will change the lives of countless people. His riches are reflected in your giving. Serve as a channel for His grace and see His kingdom grow through you. They believed they were in charge. They believed they controlled your destiny. Only now, when the weight of their own lies begins to crush them, and they rush to explain why nothing went as planned, do they realize the truth. You were never alone in this. They never stood a chance either. Stop right there. Really, you. Not everyone is going to go through this. So if that's the case, don't take it personally and keep going about your business. However, if something clicked in your soul, if you feel it within you or in your spirit, you already know that this message is addressed to you. Anomalies. Those who can see through the illusion. People who are told to sit down, to follow the crowd, to be like everyone else, but never manage to do it. You are not a trend follower. You don't claim authority. You are untouchable, unshakable, and unquestioned. You move through life like a whirlwind. You forge your own path, alone if necessary, while the rest of the world follows its tail. Because this is who you are, not for praise or acceptance. You create something wonderful out of things that are meant to tear you apart. You have an insight that can only be experienced. It cannot be taught. You were never meant to see this. The accusations were meant to stick. The stain on your name that will never be erased. And the lies were meant to be untrue. But they were irresponsible. A mistake. An omission of information or a connection they didn't expect you to discover. And now, everything is falling apart. You go further because you trust rather than out of desperation. There is something there, you know. This was not random, you know. As you peel back the layers, the truth starts to emerge. Documents come out. Reports contradict each other. They sign documents you would never dream of seeing. The evidence points to a network rather than a single person. This was not a mistake. It went beyond paranoia and rumors. There was a plan. It was planned by someone who turned facts into daggers pointed at your back and pulled strings from the shadows. But they made a mistake, because they are weaving this lie with the same threads now. They are drowning. Betrayed by their own words, their doom is sealed with their own signature. They can no longer ignore the louder, sharper whispers that used to hurt you. You don't need to expose them. One by one, they reveal themselves. Those who spoke the loudest are suddenly silent. Those who accused you without hesitation are now frantically searching for answers. And those who believed they were safe under the veil, they have a limited time, because they never reckoned with the power of truth, and the truth is coming towards them. You have been waiting for silence. You expected the stares, the hesitation, and the people who used to call you friends to fade into the background. But the knock on your door was unexpected. Not from an accuser or an official, but from someone who shouldn't care at all. A shopkeeper. A quiet and unassuming person who has never spoken more than a few words to you before. But today they are offering something new. Images. Indisputable evidence. A timestamp that destroys a well-constructed lie. With careful eyes and a measured voice, without fanfare, they give it to you. I know it's true, but I don't want any trouble. And so the first crack in their plan deepens. There will be more to come. An officer who used to look at you with suspicion starts asking the wrong questions. At them, not at you. What made the witnesses change their testimony? Why is important evidence missing? Why are the same names at the end of every road? Suspicion spreads quickly and relentlessly. Some people come forward because they think the truth exists. Others do it because they sense change, the coming collapse, and they don't want to be left behind. They see it now. The focus of this has never been you. It has to do with power control, spreading a convenient lie to the general population while hiding some truth. However, that lie is disappearing, and those who helped build it, they're on the run. There's no reason to go after them. There is no need to mount a defense. The truth reveals itself. And what about the unexpected voices defending you? They are the last nail in the coffin, because those who are trying to bury you will be defeated when even people they don't even know start to support you. You can feel the tension even before you walk in. Their goal is not to listen or understand you, but to watch you fall apart. But you don't understand. As the storm rages around you, you are undaunted. There is shouting. Accusations come from people you know. They talk about your name as if it were a curse, carrying the burden of everything that is wrong in their world. Lie after lie. Then a mistake. One of them speaks without thinking because he is too busy with his own poison. A contradiction. A piece of information inconsistent with the story told earlier. A wave of silence sweeps through the room. It happens quickly. A change in perspectives, a gleam of doubt in the eyes of those who once trusted them. Because the cracks are now evident. They begin to feel betrayed by the fiction they have meticulously crafted to destroy you. You remain silent. You don't have to. No defense you can offer can compare to the weight of silence. Now they feel the oppressive and inescapable weight of the lie. They make an effort to turn back, to double down, to refocus the discourse on the turbulent environment in which the lie flourished. But it is too late. Suspicion has already taken root among the masses. People have started gossiping about them, not about you. Now the same voices that accused you are whispering to each other, wondering what else is being fabricated. The balance of power shifts. The people who threw the first stone are now in a difficult position. Their own testimony is being used as evidence against them. You observe everything with confidence instead of anger or horror. You realize that from the beginning the truth will always prevail. And tonight, it only fell between the cracks. The movements of the policemen immediately catch your attention. Their gaze shifts from you to the faces of people who used to speak with confidence. Their interrogations have taken on a tone that is more about them than you. There is no denying the change. What was once a weighty fact now seems weightless. Claims that were once made with conviction now seem prepared, undecided, and contradictory. They are also aware of this. The people spearheading the attack against you are uneasy and uncomfortable. The same voices that once openly confessed your guilt are now faltering under the pressure. One of the policemen clears his throat. Can you elaborate on what you said earlier? A simple question, but the room is hardening. One person moves in his chair. Another looks in the direction of the exit. A bead of sweat appears on his previously dry forehead. They become uncontrollable. They are swallowed up by him. They make an effort to refocus, to bring you to the forefront again. But the words no longer have the same effect. The magic of the crowd dissolves. They too can feel it slipping away. The people who accused you so boldly are now scrambling for an explanation. Their inconsistencies are being exposed. Their coalitions are falling apart. Fear replaces arrogance. You can see in their eyes the startling realization that the same technique they used to attack you is now working against them. You remain still. You do not speak. You have allowed them to be crushed under their own lies. Because things have changed, and there is no escaping it now. The goal was never you. You were the distraction. It was all a smokescreen, accusations, rumors, well-timed lies. A way of watching you while they moved in the shadows, hiding something much worse. And it almost succeeded. Almost. But now, the investigation goes beyond you. The investigations are getting deeper. Officers are no longer interested in proving your guilt. They are trying to find out why. And the motive is quickly becoming clear. Records are coming to light. including contracts that reveal identities that no one is supposed to see, and bank accounts that don't match. And the real crime is hidden behind it all. Not a personal grudge against you, not just blind hatred or petty jealousy. It's something bigger, something that must remain hidden. They believe they could hide it under your name. They believe they could throw you into the flames while slipping away unnoticed. They are the ones under scrutiny. Their concern now is for their survival, not yours. Because the deeper the cops dig, the clearer it becomes. It was never about justice. It is about security. Theirs, not yours. They tried to destroy and sacrifice you to maintain their dominance. However, they have only exposed themselves. There is nowhere left to hide, because the light will come soon, and everything will burn up. They believed they were doing the right thing. They believed they were safe. When they turned against you, it was so simple. No hesitation, no questioning. They didn't have to think because they trusted what they had been taught. But now they think, and it is destroying them. Understanding slowly and suffocatingly seeps into their faces. They were not just bystanders. They were accomplices. The fire intended to burn you was built with their help. As they stand in the ashes, they are suffocating in the smoke of their own betrayal. Because this is no longer just about you. It is about them. It is about the ease with which they were manipulated. They turned too fast. How mindlessly they followed, never asking why. They can't ignore it. They pretended to be oblivious to the corruption. They giggled and ignored the power games. They mindlessly repeated the lies. Now everything is clear. The wreckage is a threat to everyone, not the gossipers themselves, not for those who remain silent, especially those who believe they had nothing to do with it. Their whole world is crumbling. Under its own weight, the system they support, the system that thrives on dishonesty and manipulation, is collapsing. You don't need to talk about it. They realize what they have done. They know there is no going back. You warned them not with threats or words, but silently, with the unwavering assurance of someone who knows the outcome. And so it is now. They sit in antiseptic, cold rooms with their hands clasped and their eyes flashing. They have lost their confidence. People who used to speak passionately and paint you as the bad guy are now faltering under the weight of their own statements. All the accusations they made against you are being retaliated against. The walls of law are closing in on you. The lies first contradicted each other. Reasons are emerging. Officers used to look at you with suspicion. Now they look at them. But the real showdown? It's not limited to the system. It takes place in the invisible realm. They feel it, the shift, the weight, the icy emptiness where their imaginary power used to be. The balance of heaven has shifted, and what they put out there is coming back inexorably, sharply and swiftly, and there is no escape from it. They built their foundation on dishonesty because they believed there would be no cost. But now they are paying. You can see it in their faces, a growing fear as they face the fact that this is more than just lawsuits and evidence and worldly repercussions. There is something more than that, something that cannot be undone. A chosen one has been tried to be destroyed. They are observing the collection of the price. You warned them through your presence, your fortitude, and the silence they took to surrender. They believed they were responsible for your death. However, they only set a trap for themselves. You left without a word. The weight of their own depravity caused their kingdom to crumble in slow motion. What used to be an unbreakable force, control, deception, and whispers, is now in ruins. In a frantic effort to change their role in the narrative, the same people who were against you are now turning against each other. But the ink is dry. The false accusations intended to destroy you have instead destroyed them. Their authority is borrowed, drawn from the anxieties of those too weak to oppose. And that fear has now changed. They are now the ones being observed, scrutinized, and publicized. They thought you would beg. They thought you would crumble. On the contrary, you have become stronger, more untouchable, and more feared than before. Because you are different from them, you are not. They work in darkness. Their power is based on trickery, deception, and secrecy. There is no denying your power, no confusion, a ruthless force that distorts reality itself. Now they know. Let them speak. Let them whisper. Every expression is a reminder of their shortcomings. Every look they give you is a silent confession of regret, anxiety, and defiance of something much bigger than themselves. You remain. Even after the dust settles, nothing stays the same. Relationships fall into ruins. Companies close. In shame, names that were once revered are now whispered. The community that turned against you must face the consequences of their actions, including what they allowed, what they participated in, and what they destroyed. You continue unafraid, undaunted, a force they can never stop. Let them observe. Let them think. They are now aware of your identity. Tell us what you think. How did they react when they realized they could not break you? Tell them that the chosen ones will not fall. If you enjoyed this inspiring adventure and would like to see more videos that challenge convention and explore the exceptional, please don't forget to support the channel by hitting the super thank button below. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, share with your friends, and leave a comment below. Please share your thoughts with us. The story doesn't end here. Stay tuned for more. Let's keep pushing the boundaries together.